Hey guys, my name's Andy, and along with Courtney, David, Cindy, and Keith, I'll be talking about Harley Davidson. So, giving a company brief about the company itself, it was founded in 1903 and post the World War II. It became the most leading bike manufacturer in the United States. Harley Davidson makes cruiser machines which are used for touring and no other purpose. And the main soul of a Harley Davidson is to be a part of the family oriented culture. It's the sense of freedom that it provides when you ride one. If you're a Harley Davidson owner, you become a part of the Harley Davidson group, which organizes tours and assistance for every type of Harley Davidson owner. And throughout the globe, it has many rides and many opportunities for owners to meet and socialize regarding the bike itself. So, beginning the part of the case study brief, the case study is mainly about how Harley Davidson possesses a globalization strategy during the Trump administration. The need of this arose in 2016 after the decrease in sales after the administration was taken over. The focus and rules regarding the trade barriers amongst rival countries has put the company's growth on hold, and the current target market is saturating as Harley Davidson only used to specifically target a certain type of individual, but now it needs to target every type of individual globally. Moving on to the mission statement and values, the sense of riding a Harley Davidson is the sense of freedom. It's about living the American dream. And as a company, the company is an action oriented business. It also has a large international footprint or scope, and it also provides employment and value added activities for its employees as well as its customers.
SWOT analysis is used to determine whether company expansion is supported or limited by the surrounding aspects. Harley-Davidson's strengths are that they have a global footprint in the international work and that their customers have a high customer loyalty towards the brand. Their weaknesses are that they have less market share in the international market. The opportunities for the company is due to the domestic economic growth in the Trump era, and the threats are the competition from local players in the international market, such as Honda and Yamaha in Japan, and namely BMW in European market. Next is the Michael Porter's 5 forces in order to evaluate the industry attractiveness of the company. In this case, rivalry among motorcycle industry is high as there are hundreds of motorcycle brands all over the world. Bargaining powers of customer are high because of the numbers of people who travel every day. Bargaining powers of suppliers are low because it is stated that Harley-Davidson's suppliers have been working with the company for more than 10 and 15 years. Threats of substitutes are high due to the fact that there are a lot of choices in terms of travel by car, bus, trains, and etc. Threats of new entrants are low because it is not easy to set up a motorcycle company and takes years to become a big player like Harley-Davidson. Lastly, I'm going to talk about PASL, which is the macro-environmental factors, and I'm going to highlight the key points. First is the political aspect, which is the new international trade policies introduced by Donald Trump makes it hard for the company to grow internationally. Second is the social aspect, which is the growing trend of more women bikers in the world, which can lead to more purchases of Harley-Davidson products. Third is the legal aspect, which is the continuous development from legal institutions from all over the world of the environmental protection standards and motorcycle safety regulations.
David, I'm Cindy, and now I will explain the problem statement that we have identified. The first problem statement is that Harley-Davidson market segmentation and brand position has not evolved in many years, resulted in a loss of customer base and declining profit. With the symptoms, as Harley-Davidson value has dropped by 45% and the profit even dropped by 66% in 2009 as the impact of financial crisis in 2008. Also, Harley-Davidson customer base of white males around 45 years old and up has been aging and can be seen decrease in numbers. The second problem statement that we've identified are that Harley-Davidson solely relied on domestic market in the past years to produce revenue growth. However, it has only seen a decline. With the symptom, as in 2016, Harley-Davidson international retail sales has increased by 2.3%, while the domestic retail sales in the United States declined by 3.9%.
Now I'm going to talk about the strategic alternatives to solve some of the problems from the problem statements. So Harley Davidson can launch a new design the motorcycles with new innovation where they can attract millennials or young age customers to buy their products because their loyal customers are aging and declining in numbers. Also, in the fast changing world nowadays, consumer demands, it is recommended that Harley Davidson should expand internationally because they are experiencing a drop in their sales, market dynamics, and the future forecasted earnings in the last 2 quarters. Also, to address the concerns of the aging and declining numbers customers, it is recommended that Harley Davidson can attract a new diverse customer like women, African Americans, and Asian markets to compete in the international market. And the next is Harley Davidson can increase their market share and re-establish themselves as the global leader in the motorcycle industry, where they can produce the high quality products compared to their competitors such as Japanese brand and European brands motorcycles. And lastly, the Harley Davidson can implement a performance framework to enhance the strength of the dealer network and the customer experience to enable them to become the best performing and most entrepreneurial dealers to drive innovation, to drive them to success and for themselves and for Harley Davidson in the future.
Keith, now I will do the analysis and evaluation of the Harley Davidson's problem. So the key areas of consideration in making a decision regarding the problem statement include the market segmentation and targeting strategy that will be implemented, the brand positioning strategy, in particular in both the domestic and international market, and also the international expansion strategy, in particular due to the new US trading laws and Donald Trump. So the first alternative was to launch a new design and high-impact Harley-Davidson motorcycle. A high volume of information flow is required to scan the horizon for these new product opportunities. Considerable effort is required to then screen these opportunities and identify if this is a viable strategic alternative, which is in line with their mission statements. Key questions which must be considered include how big is the market for this new product, what are their competitors' likely moves when they do launch this new product, and how will they counteract this? Does the product have adequate global potential? What is the design related costs and whether these are incurred by the manufacturer or by Harley Davidson? The second alternative is in regards to new consumer demands and expanding internationally. The biggest focus for Harley Davidson to consider here are the political and financial risk associated with expansion, in particular with Donald Trump's Make America Great policies and his tweets which have dropped stock market prices and seen CEOs also been fired. There also needs to be consideration of international markets. Where will they expand? Will it be Asia? In particular, would it be China, Japan, etc.? The marketing expansion strategy and the global product planning strategy. The third alternative is to address the concerns of the aging and declining traditional market of Harley-Davidson by segmenting and targeting a more diverse range. In this particular alternative, there's 3 key areas to consider: the segmentation method, assessing the market potential, and the target market strategy. Will it be standardized, concentrated, or differentiated? Alternative 4 talks to the increase of market share and re-establishing themselves as market leaders. This really talks to their positioning strategy and how effectively they'll be able to differentiate themselves in the market. How will they position themselves as high quality innovators, market leaders, and as the American dream? The 5th alternative talks to implementing a new framework across the network. Considerations include how will they research and develop for this framework, how will they implement the framework, will this be global or will this just be a US base, and how can they comply with dealers? Our recommendations for Harley Davidson are to focus on a more diverse market segmentation and targeting strategy. This also flows into international expansion to address their declining domestic market. It's also recommended they redevelop their brand positioning strategy and reposition themselves as both market leaders and market innovators. This is our reference list. Thank you so much for listening.